Hi, good morning, everybody. We're here again with a coordinator, Eurovision Fantasia, and today we have the Belgian representative for Eurovision 2023, Gustaph. Hi, Gustaph. Thank you so much for taking time to come to your interview and answer our questions.
Pleasure, with all my heart.
Yeah. So, as I said, you are the representative of Belgium this year in Eurovision 2023 in Liverpool, as you won Eurosong. But first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
And before we start talking about Eurovision and your song, let's talk more about you. We know that you already are familiar with Eurovision as you were backing vocals from other artists. So you've been in contact with Eurovision for quite a few years. But how do you start singing and when and what are your expectations for the contest as you are not new to this format?
Oh, well, singing was always part of my DNA. I think I started out singing and performing every chance I had. Every time I could do something in front of people, I would do it. And there's already footage of me singing by the time I was 2 years old. So it's always been, I think, in my DNA to sing. And I just started studying music from a very young age. And I also did a master. I have a master degree in jazz vocals in that sense. So I've always been very driven by music, and I've been working as an artist myself since I signed my first contract when I was 19 years old. So I've always been working, especially in Belgium. And I think I kind of went to a more international realm when I joined Hercules and Love Affair in 2012, which is a queer collective that's big in their scene. And I toured with them for about 7 years. So yeah, I've been very busy up till now, which is more than 20 years. But I guess I've always had, to answer the last question, I've always had, I think, Eurovision on my bucket list. And then having those two experiences as a delegation member made it for me even more magical. And I really fell even more in love with Eurovision. And then I kind of came to a point like, if I want to do it, I'm going to have to do it now and just go for it. So here we are.
Had you ever considered going to Eurovision like in the past, like when they still had like a national final, like, a Eurosong a few years ago? Obviously, they reintroduced a national final this year. Like, did you ever consider entering then, or was it only really this year after doing backing vocals that you were like, yeah, I want to go to Eurovision myself?
Well, it's a very good question because it's actually both. Because 2016, the VRT, which is a national broadcaster, asked me to join a national final as one of the candidates. But because I was still working with Hercules and Love Affair, we just started a tour. It was just not in the agenda. It wasn't possible date wise. But it stuck to the back of my brain, and I always was a bit like gutted because I was like, oh, what if?
Yeah.
So maybe I manifested something with that what if, because I did tell the VRT, but if I can ever become part of, delegation, because I would love to have the experience. And then I had the chance to do Senec 2018 and then Hooverphonic 2021. And it made me fall even more in love with Eurovision. And I think it was then becoming more of a manifestation of what I wanted to do. And then last year, the VRT sent out a question for a national final to a lot of artists. And I just jumped at it because I figured if there's ever a time to do it, it's now.
True. That's true. Obviously, you took the chance at the right time, didn't you?
Yeah, it was. I guess, yeah, it's a manifestation of let's just do this.
Teach me how to do it. I can't manifest. Please.
You still have time. You're very young. You'll manifest a lot of stuff. Trust me.
Okay, I'll do. Okay, thank you.
So let's talk more about the song of this year, your song, Because of You. What does it mean to you, the song, and what's the message you want to spread with the song? And also, can you tell us a little bit more about the songwriting process? How did you start writing it, and how was the creation process of it?
Because of You was written with a fellow queer artist called Jawad Alul, who's also an artist here in Belgium. And we were writing songs together, and that song kind of was, the idea was we would write an anthem that is all about self-empowerment and thanking the people who brought you to the place of self-empowerment. And because we're both queer artists and because, we're both queer people, that becomes quickly about chosen family, because I think it's a very normal thing as queer people to find your own tribe and to find people with similar experiences and to kind of like create your own little family because of it. But that doesn't take away the fact that Because of You was written for everyone. I think the you in Because of You is a very universal thing. And it can also speak to people who are just thankful of where they are, even if they don't have a queer experience. They can also be thankful about people who brought them to where they are. I think it's really about the self-love and about the gratitude you have for the people around you. And sonically, musically, the song was written. I think I started riffing in the studio, and I think that the first boom, 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 boom is the first thing I kind of played on the keys. As you can see, this is where it was created, by the way. This is all the keys that were used during the process. And we quickly found that the song was really gonna be an ode to like the early 90s, early house days, a bit of diva house, a bit of ballroom culture incorporated in that as well. So sonically, we wanted to create something that's retro, but that still had its feet in today. So that was kind of the songwriting process for us.
Nice. So you talk about like 90s like music, like house sort of style. Is that your style of music that you like it influences you? What are your general musical influences? Is it those style or is it something different?
It's definitely electronic music in general, and I think as a vocalist, also with my work for Hercules, I've always profiled myself in that scene, where because I just have a big love for house music, and I started performing with DJs here in Belgium, I think about 15 years ago, and it really changed the way I perform because I could all of a sudden perform in a club in front of people, and I could quickly incorporate the energy of people and bounce off of people's energy, which is very, very inspiring because it's kind of it harks back to my jazz education where you improvise and you learn to be in the moment. So that's definitely something that influences me. I think also there's a very big culture of dance music in Belgium, you know, and that's something that always inspired me. And the other inspiration for me is my parents, especially my mom. She used to play a lot of Motown and Stax records around the house when I was growing up. When she was cleaning the house or when she was doing stuff in the house, she would blast those records. So I think vocally, that's something that really inspired me. This kind of old school soul vibe is something that really is informative of my vocal style. So, and I also always love the clashing, the same with house music. If you have these big, huge soul vocals and they clash with a very hard, nasty beat, I think that's a beautiful marriage of dark and light, of warm and cold. And that's always something I'm drawn to as an artist.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And also like mixing like the lyrics, like the message of the message of the song, like it never like it's very surprising like how it matches with the style of music. You know, maybe you're talking about something like it's very empowering, but the song is like very upbeat and very like happy. So
yes,
so nice. What about the other song that you entered the competition with? Are you happy that you won with this one, or you saw like when you submitted the song for the competition, you saw yourself with both in Eurovision? Like what's your opinion on that?
Well, I still have a special place in my heart for The Nail, as the song was called, because The Nail is also actually about self-empowerment, but it deals with the journey differently. I think The Nail is very much about the trials and tribulations that you face in becoming yourself and in like sometimes defying certain views about yourself, especially when it comes to sexuality and about being different. So The Nail was more of a focus on the dark side of self-empowerment and self-acceptance, because there's always going to be a dark path towards it, because you will never find that light until you went through the dark first. Yeah. So The Nail was a bit in that sense deeper and a bit darker, and it's a very true song. Song is really about my journey as well. But I think by performing it in front of my fellow contestants during the whole format of the contest, I realized that there's something more instant about Because of You, even though I don't want to diss The Nail because they're both my babies, but Because of You as something so instant. And I think when you have 3 minutes to tell something to the world, Because of You will be easier to digest, I think, in that sense. And it will be quicker to understand, because even if you don't know what the song is about, there's so much that is informative of the happy and the joyful sound of the song. And that's why I think I chose Because of You, because I do love both of them, but I think Because of You has something just a tad more instant. And that is, I think, better to choose when you're thinking about a Eurovision formula.
And now when it comes to Eurovision itself, so because you're going for Belgium, you have to fight for a spot in the final.
Yes.
And you'll be performing in 5th position in the second semi-final.
Yes.
How do you feel about the position you're going to be performing in and the semi-final in general?
It's there's always people who have like all these views about, you know, what is the best position, and maybe if you're number 2, it's bad and this kind of stuff. I have to say I'm happy because it's the semi-final too. That's just because of the draw. There's a lot of more mid-tempo and ballads in the selection. And the good thing is maybe that I'm in between two of more ballads kind of songs. And I think that's definitely something that will help us stand out. But apart from that, I also think whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, but the song is very different from all the other songs. I think that the house influence, the queer elements, there's not really a song to me in the semifinal two that kind of has that vibe. So I think that's also something that will make it stand out. But yeah, I'm just excited to perform as well. Actually, it might sound a bit dull, but it's just like I just want to perform and make sure that the message comes across for the song. Yeah.
And which kind of performance can we expect from you? Like, is it going to be similar to your Eurosong performance, or more similar to your music video, which is very cool actually? Congratulations! It's like visually very very nice. So yeah, what can we expect?
Well, it's going to be different from national final. I can tell you that. I can't say everything because then the VRT will have my death warrant. But I can tell you that it's much more dynamic than what you saw in the national final. We were confined to the stage there, which didn't make for a lot of dynamics. And then when we saw the stage of Liverpool, which is huge, we were like, we have to incorporate the hugeness of the stage. There will be 3 backing vocalists that will join me. So there's going to be much more of an interaction with them. But we will keep the blueprint of the visuals. So, because for me, that's something that I really wanted to do from the beginning of the whole journey. So there will be ballroom elements and drag elements incorporated in those visuals. They will stay true to the retro 90s black and white stuff. But there will be also some more interaction with those visuals.
Okay.
I think it's going to be quite, if I may say so, I think it's going to be quite surprising what the difference will be, I think.
Oh, I'm very, very excited to see this now. So, but obviously, you aren't just going to be doing Eurovision the rest of your life, because that's impossible. So you've got a million. So obviously, we want to know, what else are you going to be doing like this year onwards? Now we know you're going to pre-parties and stuff. Are you doing any more touring, maybe in Belgium or beyond? Collaborations with people, maybe with national final artists you're with, or just in general? Anything else? What's happening? What should we expect from you in the future?
Well, I definitely want to keep the momentum going, that's for sure. So this summer, when it comes to Belgium, we will be touring a lot here in Belgium. We already have a lot of dates set up for this summer, which I'm looking forward to. And I'm going to get to perform with a live band, which I haven't done for a while. So that's cool. And we're already looking into some events in Holland and in Spain. So I'm definitely going to try to keep the European momentum going. We're looking into some prides in Europe as well. I would love to do that as well, because as a queer artist, I think it's very important to do those kind of gigs. Yeah, and then collaboration wise, I really clicked personally with, I don't know if you remember her, like Amira, who was in national final with me with Carnival. We have great connections. So this summer I'm going to be riding with her. And also in Belgium, yeah, I've been working with I don't know if you remember her, Kate Ryan. She was the contestant in I think 2006 for Belgium, and she's someone who's still working a lot in Belgium, and I'm riding with her as well this summer. So there's going to be some interesting collaborations coming on, and I definitely want to keep the Eurovision vibe going. I really feel very thankful and that I'm on this journey. So I definitely want to keep that whole Eurovision spirit alive, and I want to incorporate that into my musical journey as well.
I love that.
And now talking about Eurovision this year, just 2023. Now that all the songs have been released, and also like we already like heard the songs in the pre-parties and stuff. Do you have any favorites of this year? And also, how do you feel about the competition? Do you have any chance to talk with your with the artists from other countries? How do you feel about this year's competition?
Well, it's a very diverse and intense competition this year. I think it's very cool. There's like rock music. There's like even metal. There's like very quirky stuff. There's folklore stuff. It's very interesting to me. And like every year, you know, you start off with favorites, but then you hear the song so many times, you end up loving all of them. So it's typical.
Yeah.
It's the same with me. But what I can say, I really clicked immediately with Évidemment by Lazara from France.
Yeah.
Just because I always say to people, it's like Edith Piaf going to Studio 54. It's such a bizarre comment, not bizarre because it's brilliant, but you wouldn't expect that to work, and it works incredibly well. And I love the drama. I'm gay, so I'm gonna love drama. So I love her outfits. I love the way she performs.
She's so good.
Oh, she's so good. I can't
Her
wait to see her live.
outfit, everything's just perfect and stuff as well. Like, I don't know how they make it just so
And it's quite
Got
reserved.
hot, everything.
Yeah, voilà, and it's quite reserved. It's not like in your face. It's very reserved and it's very sensual. I think it's very interesting the way she
Very
performs.
classy as well. Have you seen the
Yes.
picture of her on the horse for the postcard?
Yes, yes. I know. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm hoping I meet her because she's gonna be there in Madrid this week.
You'll meet her.
So I'm hoping. Yeah, normally I should meet her. So,
Yeah.
but and apart from that, I have to say there's a lot of, you know what it also is. Maybe I'll tell you this. It's always interesting with Eurovision because you have those favorites, but there's always a time when they perform, and it's same with the bookmakers. Everything kind of like is turned upside down when that happens.
Yeah.
Like I the thing I saw Mimicat from Portugal perform, for example, in Barcelona, and she blew my mind. I was really like, what the hell is happening? She was by herself singing her ass off, and I liked the song, but it didn't click fully until I saw her on stage. So when it comes to favorites, I have to kind of be a bit careful because everything might change once you see their staging and you see them perform live.
That is so true. Like I definitely feel that. Like there's some songs I would be like, so it's fine, but then you hear it live and you're like, oh.
Exactly. So that's why I think into consideration what that impact might be of the live performance for sure.
We'll have to see. We'll have to see. We'll get a good vibe in Madrid, I think, because I think most of the artists are going to be there this week. So
yes.
Exciting for us.
Exciting. Oh God. I'm still a fan, you know, so a part of me is like there's another person inside of me that's like, oh my God, you're gonna meet them. So I have to really watch out that I don't become like a crazy fangirl and they're gonna give me a restriction order or something. I
think you'll be okay. I mean, you are an artist as well, so they'll probably be the same for you.
Yeah, it's true. Let's hope.
So you said you're a fan, right? How long have you watched Eurovision for? Do you have any favorite songs or memories you can share with us?
Well, a lot. I think as a child, because you know I'm a bit older. I'm 42. So when we still watch television. Remember that? So we would sit around, you know, the television each year to watch Eurovision. It's like the football. It's something that you do as a national kind of celebration. So I remember the first time I was 6 years old, and I remember watching Johnny Logan win with "Hold Me Now" in 1987, and it was held in Belgium because J'aime la vie by Sandra Kim had won the year before. And I also remember Victor Laszlo, who presented the ceremony. She had beautiful earrings, so the obsession with accessories already started there, I guess. And then for the rest, I think until I was about 20, 21, I really watched it quite religiously and made lists and did all that kind of stuff. And I kept watching it, but not as fanatically until maybe around 2010-ish, when I really felt something like switch there in the energy of the festival, meaning it became very broad again to me. Like there's a lot of different music, a lot of great artists that participated, and I think then doing the Eurovision with Senek and with Overphonic tilted me over the edge completely. So now I'm back to being a fanatic. But yeah,
like it's basically.
Oh, sorry.
You're just like us.
Exactly.
You're on stage.
Exactly. So, but then for me, I have a couple of favorites, but I think the top three for me would be Eres Du from Moquedades from the 70s.
Moquedades, yes.
Because my mom used to play that song as well, and
mine too.
It's such a beautiful song.
Mine.
Actually,
okay.
actually, they are from my town. Like the singers, Mocedades, like from Bilbao, from my city, from.
You're from Bilbao.
Yes.
Bilbao.
Yeah, so like it's like the most iconic like group of my like in the Basque country and in Bilbao, and yeah, my mom was obsessed with them and she was friends with them and everything. It's like iconic.
Yes, and I remember that there was like a sort of like celebration Eurovision. This many years ago. And I think one of the brothers just died. This is like 10 years ago or something, and she was crying while singing. I get goosebumps telling you this, and it was so beautiful because it was such. The lyrics are so beautiful, and it really was like an honor to their brother as well. That song, I think it's gorgeous song. And then, wait, let's see what else. And number two, I'm sorry, such a cliche, but I have to say it. It's gonna be Euphoria by Loreen. It's just.
And she's gonna be there. She's gonna be there in Madrid again.
I know. This is the restraining order I was talking about. She's gonna be like, "Who is this fan? Get him out of here!" But
Loreen, that's your competitor there. He's not actually like. You don't have to be here too.
I hope you're there to tell them when they take me away with the cops. But
I can't speak Spanish, so maybe I'll get Eichel to do it instead.
But I mean, it's just indestructible. You know, it's just. I know everyone will love it, but there's a reason why it's such a cliche in that sense to choose. And my number one is "Where Are You Now" by Imani. She came in second after Ghana International, and it's It's my favorite because I'm a house kid and it has a bit of that house influence. She's a great vocalist.
It does,
And
yeah.
I also love the lyrics. They're very haunting. They're very dark, actually, the lyrics, and they really work very well in that realm. So,
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Also iconic. Okay, so yeah, I think we finished here the interview. Thank you so much, Gustaph, for taking
Thank
time
you.
to answer our questions, and I will see you in few days,
Have a
literally
laugh.
in Madrid. We'll have so much fun there, and
Yeah, looking forward to seeing you guys.
yeah, and thank you so much for taking time. And before we go, if you can send a message to your followers and fans watching this video, and also the followers of Eurovision Fantasia, that would be amazing. Thank you so much.
Pleasure. Thank you so much. I have to say to everyone who is watching this show and who is supporting you guys as well is I think that the Eurovision community is a very special one because they keep the Eurovision idea alive. You know, it's very unique what Eurovision is doing. It's unique not only to Europe but to the world, and it's people like you who are really helping to promote the festival, who are true fans. You are the first and foremost to keep the spirit alive, and so the same goes for your followers, because there's a part that will follow it, but you start everything. And I think by being the fire starters of Eurovision, you're doing a very important job. So thank you for your work.